One thing on Twitter when you said that Magna Carta Holy Grail you thought was fighting for fourth place as far as best albums. Because I think every time you put out an album, you think, okay, this is my best album to date. And that was very honest of you to say that. But do you really believe that? It's only fourth place?
I mean, only fourth place, but I mean, fighting for that 3, you got to fight Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, and the Black Album. That's just, I mean, that's just hard.
Is that the order you put it in that order? Reasonable Doubt first?
Reasonable Doubt, well, yeah, it's the first album I made because, you know, that's the joint I took my whole life to make. Reasonable Doubt, then Blueprint, then the Black Album. But sometimes I switch to Blueprint and the Black Album. Don't tell nobody.
Is it hard, though, because you're competing against yourself? Like, you're competing against classics, like... You know, you can't compare, to me, you can't compare, you know, Holy Grail to Reasonable Doubt or the Blueprint, because it was different times in your life.
True. That's part of the reason why I put it forth. It's very difficult to, like, recreate those times. Those times was like, I mean, obviously, you can't bring those times back, but, you know. Just for it to be so high says what I think about it.
What's the
but
inspiration?
It's new anyway, I might not think that way in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration? Because I know you used to say Big was inspired you to spit and Nas, but do you get inspired by artists now?
The era I grew up in is like Biggie, Nas, you know, well, Tupac. It's very difficult to compare to those guys. You know, it just is, and so I'm inspired by my previous work. So I have to measure myself against that, and
like this here, like do you ever hear a record now that you be like, you know what, I'm going in the lab, or is it just seems like is ABC 1 2 3? Because a lot of the music to me, it doesn't. I know it makes you sound like an old head, make me sound like an old head, but it just don't sound the same. It don't feel the same.
Nah, it's good music. It's just hard. It's just you gotta mind for it. You know, I mean, before I felt there was, you know, an abundance of it. But that's what happened, you know, when anything's successful. Like, people were rapping because they loved the rap. And then it became this, you know, huge business, this multi-billion-dollar business. So people that didn't even care to rap was like, I'm going to figure out how to get some money in this. So you had people who could rap a little bit and saw it as a hustle. Then you had guys, CEOs rapping. You know, this is no disrespect to anyone, just to be clear. You had people rapping like, yo, you should rap. Like Big told Puff, you should rap.
Right.
Puff wasn't a rapper, you know, but he was Puff, you know what I'm saying? So, and he sold 7 million records. He may be more by now, you know, with the catalog, but he sold 7 million records of No Way Out. He never rapped before.
Right.
So when people see that, they emulate that. So now you got all kind of CEOs rapping, and now you have, I'm a CEO rapping. So, so now it's like, you know, it's flooded with guys who aren't rappers. So you just gotta mime it. You're gonna find it, and you'll find good music still. It's just you know, more difficult to find.
So Puff F'd the game up is what you're saying for lyricists.
Nah.